The atmosphere in the ghost city is thick with tension as the past and future collide. Lan's secrets are about to be unearthed, and Wu Geng finds himself at the center of a storm he didn't start. Lan's eyes are cold as ice. She looks at Zidian with utter disdain, telling him that if he has something to say, he'd better save it for another time, and definitely not in a place like this. But Zidian isn't listening. His obsession has reached a breaking point. He lunges forward, grabbing her, demanding to know why she never gives him a chance when her past is already dead and buried. His voice drops to a low, dangerous growl. Zidian admits he's violating the sacred rules of their order today, but he claims it's the only way he can ever truly get close to her. Suddenly, Lan's body freezes. She realizes with horror that she can't move. Zidian has activated a small lightning shock, a paralyzing discharge of divine power designed to keep her immobile and helpless. A predatory smile creeps across Zidian's face. He savors the moment, believing he finally has the opportunity he's been waiting years for. The silence is shattered by a familiar, mocking voice. Standing atop the jagged rocks, Wu Geng looks down at them, apologizing for the interruption with a tone that suggests he isn't sorry at all. Wu Geng crosses his arms, his single eye burning with judgment. He remarks that as a newcomer, he might not know the rules, but this unique way of courting seems more like a crime than a romance. Zidian's face twists in pure annoyance, his eyes narrowing at the brat who dared to interfere. Beneath him, Lan looks up, her eyes wide with a mixture of relief and shock at Wu Geng's arrival. Wu Geng doesn't mince words. He stares Zidian down, flatly stating that from where he's standing, this looks like nothing less than an attempted assault. The air crackles with killing intent. Zidian's blood boils. He can't believe this mortal brat has the audacity to stand in his way and make trouble. Wu Geng leans in, a smirk playing on his lips. He taunts Zidian, telling him that it seems his little plan is officially over, whether he likes it or not. Zidian loses it. His face contorts into a mask of pure rage as he screams a blood-curdling vow to cut Wu Geng into pieces. Wu Geng tenses up. He notices the change instantly. Zidian's body is fulgurating, surging with high-voltage divine energy that illuminates the entire area. Zidian lunges. He throws a lightning-charged punch with blinding speed, shouting that Wu Geng is seeking his own death. Zidian screams that he was originally only going to teach the boy a small lesson for being the high priest's guest, but now, he's truly infuriated. He drops into a combat stance, his muscles coiled like a spring. The great god of the fallen ones is no longer holding back. Wait, something is wrong. Zidian's eyes widen as he senses a shift in the battlefield. A sudden realization hits him like a physical blow. He pushes past the shock, refocusing his murderous intent. He roars that no matter what happens, he has to kill Wu Geng first. Impact is brutal. Blood sprays across the rocks as the two forces collide. Wu Geng takes the hit, the sheer force of the lightning power tearing through the air. Wu Geng is sent reeling, his body trailing blood as he struggles to maintain his footing against the onslaught of the divine lightning. But in the midst of the pain, Wu Geng's eye sharpens. He recognizes the energy signature. This isn't just Zidian's power, this is Lan's intervention. Beams of light erupt, cutting through the chaos. The battlefield is transformed as Lan's true power begins to manifest, turning the tide of this desperate struggle. Lan reveals a chilling truth. Zidian wasn't just testing Wu Geng, he was moving in for the kill. It was pure luck that the boy managed to hold his own for so long. Wu Geng admits the guy is a monster, scaling him to the level of the great gods. But Lan clarifies that great god is just a title. In terms of raw lightning mastery, Zidian is in a league of his own. Curiosity piqued, Wu Geng asks about the source of this deep-seated bitterness. Lan's gaze drifts toward the horizon, her voice dropping as she mentions a war from the distant past. Cost of that rebellion was blood. Lan reveals that both her husband and Kong Kei's husband met tragic, violent ends during the conflict. The architect of their misery is Shi Xing, a merciless executioner whose sole purpose is to hunt down every last member of the fallen ones. The mere mention of his name causes Lan to cry out in defiance. A flash of memory shows the brutality of the gods, a crushing impact that echoes the pain of their lost families. This is the weight Wu Geng is now expected to carry. Wu Geng finally understands why Zidian called him an imposter. He doesn't see himself as the destined one they've all been praying for. Trying to break the tension, he notes that since gods live 3 times longer than humans, Lan is technically only 9 years old. He jokingly suggests she should start calling him Big Brother. Lan isn't amused by the math. She shuts him down with a sharp look, ordering him to meet her in the forest tonight, and he better not be late. Before the secret meeting, the grind continues. Wu Geng is forced to memorize ancient scriptures, a mental discipline required to anchor his growing power. The physical training is even more grueling. He challenges Yun Zhongzi, the bearded master who isn't about to go easy on a cocky rookie. Yun Zhongzi triggers his skill, water cannon batter. A torrent of high-pressure liquid erupts from his gourd, blanketing the area in a relentless assault. Despite the splash, the master laughs heartily. He finds it both a disgrace and a thrill that a mere brat managed to kick his legendary gourd away. Training takes a weird turn when two young gods step up claiming Wu Geng hasn't defeated them yet. These kids aren't playing around. Wu Geng smirks. This is a golden opportunity. If he can beat these divine brats into a pulp, he'll finally prove he's ready for the real thing. Alon intervenes, announcing the second stage of his training. She tells him to pick one of the children as his next opponent. In classic fashion, Wu Geng refuses to choose. He tells both of them to come at him at once, promising to go easy on them. He wonders if all gods are born with the inherent knowledge of their powers. Alon explains that every young god needs a senior to guide the divine revelation so it doesn't backfire. Later, Kong Ke approaches with a gentle smile, asking if Wu Geng is free. Her presence is a stark contrast to the violent training sessions. As they walk, Kong Ke admits they've been selfish. They've been trying to force Wu Geng into the image of the savior they hold in their hearts despite the lack of evidence. Wu Geng realizes why everyone was acting so strange when he arrived. They haven't just been waiting for a hero for a year or two, they've been waiting for decades. Under the vast blue sky, he drops a bombshell. He never viewed this place as home. His plan was always to finish training and disappear as fast as possible. He tells Kong Ke bluntly that Fui found the wrong person. He's just a normal guy, not the legendary figure they desire. But internally, he's conflicted. This place feels warm, almost like home. If he leaves, he betrays this new family. If he stays, he betrays his wife, Bai Kai. As he heads into the forest for his meeting with Alon, he senses something. The quiet of the woods is about to be shattered by a revelation he isn't prepared for. Wu Geng pauses, plucking a vibrant purple flower, his senses sharpened by an unsettling stillness in the air. The quiet of the woods is about to be shattered by a revelation he isn't prepared for. His eyes narrow, a chilling realization dawning on him. An intruder from the headquarters is here, and they've already made their move. Rushing forward, Wu Geng finds a fallen comrade gravely wounded. He demands, "Ah Meng, what happened? Who has injured you so?" Flicker of alarm crosses Wu Geng's face as he processes the grim scene. From the shadows, Shixing emerges, a sinister grin playing on his lips. He muses, "It came earlier than I'd expected." Shixing, his wild white hair and blood-like markings stark against his skin, lets out a chilling laugh. "This only makes the game even more interesting," he declares, clearly relishing the chaos. The forest floor pounds underfoot as Wu Geng grabs Alon, urging her to flee. Their escape is desperate, their movements a blur. Shixing's grin widens, his eyes glowing with predatory intent. Besides, he scoffs, they won't get far. The camera sweeps over the ghost city, revealing widespread panic. Figures scatter like ants as strange, white energy trails signify a massive assault. Alan's hand gently touches Wu Geng's cheek, her expression grave. She reveals the grim truth. "Wu Geng, you were infected by Gui Mu's necrogen mist back in the mines." Elsewhere, Zidian, his face partially obscured by a mask, observes Wu Geng's condition with a conflicted expression. He laments, "It's a pity, everything I did proved to be useless. Your eyes are still emitting a dull color, meaning that the necrogen mist within you has yet to dissipate." Wu Geng turns to his mentor, Yunzhongzi, asking with a heavy heart, "Teacher, this time, is it the end?" Unfazed, Yunzhongzi boasts of his unique venom capable of purging any poison, and casually instructs Wu Geng to kick it away. He then vows to deal with the rotten guys before taking another swig from his gourd. Meanwhile, the masked Zidian, observing from a distance, challenges, "You may be a god but you're too old. Everything's a burden to me, but I'll give you a chance to serve me." Zidian's voice drips with contempt as he accuses an unseen teacher of deceiving the fallen ones, manipulating them into a futile war against the gods for personal gain. He scoffs, "In the past, I assumed that your wisdom knew no boundaries. However, now you've gotten stupid, just look at yourself." The scene abruptly shifts as Zidian, with a chilling resolve, plunges a blade into Alon. Blood spatters as he declares, "Teacher, you were lucky to escape during our last duel. I will not allow such a thing to happen again." Wu Geng, desperate after the attack on Alon, faces Shixing, trying to appeal for their lives or for release. But the blood-marked Shixing laughs maniacally, dismissing Wu Geng's pleas. "Heh, I've got the correct target." Shixing sneers, "Killing lowly humans is also one of my joys. All you do is to breed and reproduce. This is just frustrating. I'll exterminate every human that will cross my path." Shixing's face is a mask of bloodthirsty glee as he unleashes a devastating attack, the sound of a brutal slash echoing through the forest. Shixing continues his onslaught, his monstrous grin unfading, as Wu Geng stands firm, preparing for the inevitable clash. Ghost City is in ruins, buildings burning and collapsing. Amidst the chaos, a voice declares the dire situation. "The gods have overwhelmed us and we are unable to confront them. We need to escape." Earlier, Wu Geng turns to Alon, his face grim, asking if this assault is more devastating than the one 2 years prior. Alon confirms his fears, revealing that Gui Mu is not the only great god taking part in this, and that this attack has a larger scale. Lan reveals that their leader Kong Ke had meticulously organized the fallen ones. She assigned the most capable fighters to the front lines while others were tasked with crucial support roles. Her gaze unwavering, Lan expresses her conviction in the priest's prophecy and, more importantly, in Wu Geng Go. She implores him to survive, to live on. Wu Geng Go vehemently argues, questioning why he's being sidelined despite being a core member. He reminds Lan that he's already rejected the Destined One prophecy and that Kong Ke herself agreed not to force him. With fierce resolve, he declares his right to choose his own path, and that path is to stay and fight by her side. Lan, her concern evident, warns him that staying with her could mean his demise, asking if he fears death. Wu Geng Go, however, dismisses the notion, not denying fear but asserting his uncanny luck in surviving crises. He confidently states that together, they can defy death and forge a path to safety. The colossal great god Shixing looms over a downed opponent, flames licking at his feet. His expression is one of utter contempt, scoffing at his prey for their perceived weakness. Shielding Lan, Wu Geng Go's eyes narrow with grim determination. He internally acknowledges Shixing's terrifying presence, recognizing him as an even greater threat than Guimu, and questions his own capacity to face such an overwhelming foe. Shixing's face contorts into a predatory grin, his eyes glinting with anticipation. He confidently declares that the day's conflict will be swiftly concluded. With a defiant humph, Wu Geng Go's eyes burn with fierce resolve even as he is slammed into the ground, a testament to Shixing's brutal power. Shixing, mid-stance with his colossal bow, lets out a surprised exclamation. He acknowledges Wu Geng Go's audacity and exceptional skill for somehow intercepting his attack. A tear glistens in Lan's eye as she reveals the true depth of her concern. It's not about prophecy or destiny. Her sole desire is for Wu Geng Go's safety. Wu Geng Go stands protectively over the fallen Lan, a silent vow passing between them. Soft, reassuring smile graces Wu Geng Go's lips. He reaffirms his earlier promise to protect her, mirroring her desire for his safety with his own unwavering commitment. Gently, Wu Geng Go places his hand on Lan's head, instructing her to stay put while he handles the threat. Shixing's confident smirk falters, replaced by a momentary expression of surprise and confusion. With a powerful leap, Wu Geng Go propels himself into the air, soaring above Shixing. The great god roars, demanding to know where his prey thinks he's escaping to. A flashback begins. Yun Zhongzi, with his bundle of bamboo, enthusiastically explains to a thoughtful Wu Geng Go how their innovative concepts will allow them to invent a myriad of new weapons. Wu Geng Go deeply considers Yun Zhongzi's words, recognizing the immense potential of explosive powder. Yun Zhongzi continues, detailing how incorporating bullets into the powder will dramatically amplify their weapon's lethality. Determined glint in his eye, Wu Geng Go declares that with such advancements they will no longer need to fear the gods. Yun Zhongzi, however, expresses a philosophical reservation, noting that his role is to create, not destroy, and this new path deviates from the headquarters' core principles. Back in the present, Shixing's face contorts into a manic, drooling grin, his eyes wide with bloodlust. He demands another shot, eager for the continuation of battle. With a fierce cry of again, Wu Geng Go unleashes a devastating blast from a colossal cannon. A massive explosion erupts, engulfing the battlefield in fire and smoke. Shixing's face lights up with a wide, exhilarated grin. He finally finds the entertainment he craves, his eyes gleaming with savage joy. Amidst the chaotic debris, Wu Geng Go struggles to wield the massive cannon, its power almost overwhelming him. Unfazed by the blast, Shixing advances, his eyes fixed on Wu Geng Go, a clear challenge in his gaze. Shixing, his face streaked with crimson, lets out a bloodthirsty chuckle. Not too bad, he muses, his voice laced with chilling amusement. I'm starting to feel a little dizzy. Wu Geng Go's significant cannon blast only seems to fuel his manic glee. Wu Geng Go stands firm amidst the swirling dust, his jaw set, assessing the formidable opponent before him. His eyes, sharp and determined, track Shixing's every subtle movement. Shixing's arm tenses, muscles bulging with raw power. He declares, his voice a guttural roar, I won't go easy on you. His intent is clear, to utterly overwhelm Wu Geng Go. He lunges forward, a whirlwind of destructive force, shattering the surrounding wreckage as he closes the distance between them. Debris explodes outwards, a testament to his sheer momentum. With a devastating strike, Shixing smashes through a thick wooden pillar, splintering it into 1,000 shards. His power is absolute, tearing through the environment with ease. Standing amidst the fresh devastation, Shixing scans the area, a predatory glint in his eyes. He mutters about the presence of more living fallen ones, his hunger for battle far from sated. Elsewhere, the wise elder Fu Yi reflects on the nature of the fallen ones. He acknowledges their intelligence and wisdom, yet notes their steadfast refusal to use their power for harm, a stark contrast to the gods. Wu Geng Go's resolve hardens. He cherishes this place, unable to bear its destruction. I will not hesitate any further, he vows, his voice firm. I can now give a definite answer to Kong Ke's question. Yes, I accept this place as my home. Wu Geng go declares, his monochrome divine power flaring around him. He recalls his past helplessness when his old home was destroyed, but today he will fight with everything he has. Shixing descends with a brutal overhead strike, aiming to crush Wu Geng go into the ground. The impact point glows with immense force, threatening to obliterate everything in its path. Wu Geng go meets the assault, his eyes blazing with defiance. You pounced over here without taking any precautions. He challenges, his grip tightening on his weapon. You're assuming your opponent can never harm you. You're so damn wrong. Shixing, disoriented by the sudden shift in battle, growls, where are you, rat? Planning to ambush me again? Heh, you failed. He scans frantically, his bloodlust still raging as he searches for his elusive foe. Enraged by Wu Geng go's evasive tactics, Shixing slams his massive fist into the earth, creating a devastating crater. The ground shatters, sending shockwaves through the battlefield as he attempts to flush out his opponent. His bloodied face contorts into a wide, deranged grin. This is so much fun. Shixing bellows, his voice echoing with sadistic pleasure. Come, get up and fight. Fight till your very last breath. Do anything to survive. Even bite if you have to. Struggle for your life. While Shixing revels in his bloodlust, a subtle deception is at play. Every move made until now has been a calculated feint designed to blind the great god to the true threat. Lan is focusing every ounce of her remaining essence, gathering a concentrated surge of power for one final, lethal execution. The trap is set, and the countdown to her deadliest strike is almost at zero. Suddenly, the air screams as golden streaks of lethal energy tear through the battlefield. This isn't just a simple attack, it's a coordinated barrage of soul-slicing strikes that bypass Shixing's initial defenses. Blood sprays into the air, painting a gruesome picture against the backdrop of the intense, flickering light as the blades find their mark. Impact is catastrophic. The sheer force of the technique sends Shixing reeling, his body becoming a canvas of deep crimson gashes. The golden energy lines crisscross through his flesh, threatening to tear the great god asunder as the concentrated power of the fallen ones finally makes contact. Lan staggers, a thin trail of blood escaping her lips. The execution of such a high-level technique has pushed her body to its absolute limit. Despite the exhaustion threatening to pull her into unconsciousness, she maintains her focus, watching the dust settle to see if her gamble paid off. But the nightmare is far from over. Shixing's laughter returns, more chilling than before. He reveals the source of his terrifying resilience, the mark of death etched into his very soul. This mantra grants him the horrific ability to traverse the boundary between the mortal realm and the underworld. To his enemy's horror, he declares that as long as this mark remains, he is a god who can never truly be killed. Revelation of his immortality casts a heavy shadow over the rebels. This is the true, unadulterated power that originates from the gods, a force that defies the natural laws of life and death, making their struggles seem like an exercise in futility. Amidst the chaos, a terrifying silence suddenly envelopes Wu Geng go. The sounds of battle fade, replaced by a shrill, high-pitched ringing that vibrates through his bones. His skin begins to spiderweb with glowing fractures, emitting a series of sharp mechanical cracks as something ancient and powerful begins to stir within him. Wu Geng go grits his teeth as the divine revelation takes hold. He can feel the raw, celestial energy devouring his human frame from the inside out. He remembers Lan's warning, even for gods, this awakening is perilous. For a mere human like him, the chances of his body simply exploding under the pressure are dangerously high. On the periphery, the skirmish intensifies. Soldiers scramble as the ground itself becomes a hazard. A warrior is violently upended, caught by a tethered hook as the battlefield descends into a messy, desperate struggle for survival against the overwhelming might of the god domain's guardians. The sky erupts as massive pillars of golden light rain down like meteors. Each impact shatters the earth, sending debris and bodies flying. This is a total annihilation zone, where the divine energy is being used not just to kill but to erase everything in its path with absolute authority. In the eye of the storm, the tension reaches a breaking point. Gue Mu is challenged to a final, desperate gamble where lives are the only currency left. As the claws of the lion lose their edge, the combatants prepare for a final collision, knowing that there is no turning back from the path they have chosen. As the desperate gamble unfolds, a voice cuts through the chaos, declaring the grim reality: mutual annihilation is an impossible outcome. The stakes are too high for all to perish together. With unwavering resolve, Zhou Ri's clenched fist radiates power. He boldly proclaims his unshakable loyalty to the gods, challenging even his own teacher to die for their faith if they dare oppose him. Amidst a landscape shattered and stained with blood, Xin Yukue stands poised, her gaze sweeping over the scene of destruction. She acknowledges the long-awaited reunion with the formidable Shixing and another cloaked figure, the air thick with unspoken history. Tormented captive, his eyes burning with agony, writhes on the ground. His desperate pleas echo through the ruins, a desperate cry for release, begging for death to end his suffering. Xin Yukue's expression softens into a chilling, melancholic smile as she reveals her twisted sentiment. She has been missing the solitude, the absence of those she has eliminated. The tortured captive lets out a guttural groan, impaled by blood-red spikes. Xin Yukue and Shixing observe, their presence dominating the shattered battlefield where lives are brutally extinguished. Xin Yukue reveals the cost of her immense power, holding 2 glowing blue orbs. She sacrificed her sight, her eyes, to master forbidden ancient mantra abilities, losing the vibrant colors of the world years ago. In a defiant protest, a bearded elder rages against his unjust punishment. He proclaims his innocence, having only spoken the truth about the exorbitant price paid for mining bloodstones, demanding an end to the exploitation. An authoritative high priestess with piercing blue eyes issues a decree. She banishes an unseen individual, asserting her power to appoint the next high priest, shaping the divine hierarchy. From an elevated perspective, a powerful figure addresses his father, boasting of his superior strength and speed. He confidently declares that the gods will thrive under his guidance once Tian falls into slumber, allowing him to command the 6 ministers of heaven unopposed. The narrative shifts, marking the beginning of Feng Shen Ji Chapter 27, Ghost City. Xin Yukue stands amidst ethereal blue orbs, her presence dominating the fiery backdrop, a harbinger of the chaos to come. The elder from before screams in agony, his eyes now a bloody mess. The narrator reveals the brutal truth. He has lost his sight, his ability to perceive past and present, a horrific consequence of his defiance. Shixing, the master of Ghost City, responds with a simple, resolute yes, his expression unreadable, hinting at a deeper understanding or agreement in the unfolding events. Xin Yukue's chilling thoughts turn to Kong Ke, a former friend. She coldly recounts killing Kong Ke's husband 2 years prior, deeming her current solitude pitiful, and decides to spare her for now, a twisted act of mercy. Kong Ke, looking concerned, addresses an unseen priest, her expression betraying a deep unease amidst the unfolding events. Kong Ke advises a child to mind their own business, expressing uncertainty about Wu Geng's fate. Meanwhile, Lan's eyes burn with fierce conviction, declaring her unwavering faith that Wu Geng will not be defeated by destiny. Below, Wu Geng lies gravely injured, coughing up blood, his struggle far from over. Shixing laughs maniacally, a glowing blue orb held aloft, surrounded by crackling energy. He mockingly calls Wu Geng lucky brat, his triumph evident and terrifying. Standing over a defeated Wu Geng, Shixing delivers a shocking revelation. He congratulates the boy on completing a divine revelation, expressing surprise at Wu Geng's blood relation to his own race, calling it a wonderful fate despite the brutal battle. Wu Geng lies broken, his body battered and blood trickling from his mouth, each cough a testament to the brutal divine revelation he just endured. Shixing's words echo, a chilling prophecy of a wonderful fate for the boy now linked by blood to his tormentor's ancient race. Shixing's eyes blaze with manic glee, a predatory grin splitting his face. He declares that the true battle between them has only just begun, hinting at a deeper, more profound conflict yet to unfold. The scene abruptly shifts to a desolate desert. 2 hulking figures, their faces twisted into crude grins, loom over the landscape. One of them, with a disturbing glint in his eye, points, exclaiming, "It's a female." Wu Geng, now clad in a dark cloak, struggles to crawl through the scorching sands. His exhaustion is palpable, yet he pushes onward, a lone figure against the vast, unforgiving desert, a massive beast trailing behind him. One of the muscular pursuers, a fierce warrior of the desert, observes Wu Geng's slow progress. He mockingly notes Wu Geng's recovered energy, warning him that escaping this treacherous wasteland will be no easy feat. As Wu Geng collapses once more into the sand, the pursuing warrior's thoughts betray a chilling anticipation. He muses about the fun it would be to fight someone like Wu Geng, revealing his sadistic intent. The scene shifts again, plunging into the oppressive darkness of a dungeon. Red lanterns cast an eerie glow on stone walls as a mysterious figure, cloaked in white, moves silently through the shadows, their footsteps echoing ominously. Wu Geng awakens in the grim prison, his eyes wide with confusion. He finds himself chained, the heavy metal biting into his flesh, his mind racing to comprehend his new, dire circumstances. A colossal figure with long, flowing white hair, equally shackled, emerges from the shadows behind Wu Geng. The revelation hits Wu Geng with a jolt. "I'm not alone." Wu Geng's confusion turns to fear as he demands to know who's there. His question is met with brutal force as the chains around his neck suddenly tighten, choking him, a silent warning from his powerful, unknown cellmate. The white-haired figure, revealed to be Ziyu, violently yanks the chains, slamming Wu Geng against the cold stone wall. The impact reverberates through the dungeon, a stark display of Ziyu's immense strength despite his own captivity. Ziyu turns his back on the battered Wu Geng, walking away with an air of cold indifference. The chains clink with each step, a heavy reminder of their shared imprisonment, yet their dynamic remains one of master and subjugated. Ziyu pauses at the cell door, addressing an unseen presence. He remarks on him, Wu Geng, expressing disappointment that the boy failed to relieve their boredom, a chilling indication of the prison's true purpose. Meanwhile, Shixing, the master of the Ghost City, stands in a torchlit corridor, watching 2 cloaked figures depart. He speaks to his dear friend Ziyu through the door, revealing his singular obsession. Battle is his only reason for living. Shi Xing's face contorts into a grotesque, ecstatic grin, his eyes glowing with an otherworldly blue light. He addresses Ziyu, challenging him, "My dear friend, when will it be your turn?" The implication is clear. Ziyu is next on his list of potential entertainments. Ziyu stares out through the small window of his cell, contemplating Shi Xing's words. He then turns, walking back towards the still recovering Wu Geng. "Ah go," a silent promise hanging in the air, "I will let you know." Ziyu finally settles down amidst the straw, his chains clinking softly. His gaze is distant, resolute. When the time is right, he concludes, a chilling declaration that hints at a coming confrontation, a battle that will undoubtedly shake the foundations of the Ghost City. Ziyu's calm resolve shatters, replaced by a primal scream of defiance. His eyes blaze with an unholy light as he roars, asserting his absolute dominance. "No one except me." The flames of his fury erupt around him, a visible manifestation of his rage. His masked face remains stoic, but his words are a chilling threat, warning off any who dare to defile what he protects. A flashback reveals a softer, yet equally determined Ziyu. He declares he rescued her purely out of love, seeking nothing in return. Lan's thoughts drift, her gaze distant as she remembers Wu Geng. Ah go. Meanwhile, Wu Geng Ah go himself lies amidst a field of flowers, lost in his own troubled contemplation. Wu Geng Ah go sits up, haunted by a vivid, terrifying dream. He recounts Lan facing unspeakable horrors, the headquarters decimated, and himself losing an arm, powerless to intervene. The dream shifts to a gruesome vision of Lan, her face streaked with blood, her eyes hollow. She delivers a chilling message: everyone is dead. Nightmare fades, leaving Wu Geng Ah go back in the cold reality of his cell, kneeling before Ziyu. The air is heavy with unspoken burdens. Ziyu observes Wu Geng Ah go, who is lost in a whirlwind of fragmented memories and past hardships. The narrator reflects on Wu Geng Ah go's arduous journey, attributing his current plight to an unlucky fate that led him to this desolate place. Wu Geng Ah go laments his transformed appearance, realizing the impossibility of proving his true identity as the Prince of Shang. The weight of his disguise and the difficulty of explanation press down on him. The distant sound of footsteps echoes through the dark, stone corridors. Three cloaked figures, their faces hidden, advance with torches, their presence signaling an impending disturbance. Muffled sounds reach the cell, prompting Wu Geng Ah go to question Ziyu about the commotion outside. An uneasy tension fills the confined space. A grotesque, leering face emerges from the shadows, its eyes wide and manic. It cackles, announcing that it's time for the newcomer to face their fate, a sinister invitation. Panic erupts among the other prisoners. One man's eye bulges in terror as another prisoner makes a grim joke, only to be shut down by a more cynical companion. A third prisoner questions if hope itself is a mistake in this grim place. A bald, muscular figure, seemingly the newcomer, looks upwards as a beam of light illuminates him. He is addressed as Li Nijia, hinting at his identity and perhaps a legendary past. A young man with dark, messy hair and piercing red eyes stares in shock, a single tear escaping. His expression suggests recognition and profound surprise at the sight of Li Nijia. A sinister young boy with a topknot mocks the idea of escape, his smirk revealing a cruel amusement. He dismisses any hope of freedom from the minds as utterly naive. The young man with red eyes explains that after Li Nijia vanished, he and Ah Shi opened a shop in this very place, patiently waiting for his return. Time passes, and the search for Wu Geng Ah go continues. The top-knotted boy expresses frustration over the 3-month silence, while an elder admonishes Li Nijia for his inattention. Others discuss the ongoing search, with one man expressing a chilling desire to slice Wu Geng Ah go into pieces, a sentiment the top-knotted boy vehemently rejects. Frustration over the disappearance boils over. A boy with a top knot, no longer able to tolerate the stagnant search, rises and leaves the formal assembly in a fit of impatience. A complex mix of emotions crosses the boy's face, hinting at a depth of feeling that goes far beyond mere annoyance. The search remains fruitless. A man and a woman look on, their expressions acknowledging the difficulty of finding a restless spirit who was never meant for a quiet life. Elsewhere, beneath the moonlit sky, two figures share a light-hearted moment, their countenances reflecting memories of a stubborn and unyielding individual. The scene shifts violently as a monstrous figure roars with savage fury, his face contorted as he prepares to unleash his strength in a brutal confrontation. A sinister grin spreads across the figure's face while he clenches his fist, veins bulging. He revels in his raw power during the heat of battle. Nearby, an observer watches the unfolding chaos with an unreadable expression. The heavy silence around him contrasts with the explosive power being unleashed. A powerful aura of energy erupts around the observer, accompanied by a sharp sound as he reacts to the immense forces at play. The monstrous figure continues his brutal assault, slamming his opponent into the ground. He looms over the fallen warrior, his dominance making it clear that no mercy will be shown. Pushed to his absolute limit, the opponent lets out a primal cry. A brilliant sphere of energy erupts from his hands, pushing back against the overwhelming attack. Brilliant sphere of energy from Shi Xing collides, unleashing a shockwave that tears through the surroundings. Debris flies as his raw power pushes back against the assault. With a guttural roar, Shixing shatters the binds holding him, his power erupting. He laughs maniacally, reveling in the surge of strength and proclaiming this moment truly miraculous. Wu Geng observes the spectacle, a trickle of blood at his lip. The sight triggers a memory for Ziyu, who acknowledges Wu Geng as his brother Zishou's son. Serene smile graces Xian Yukui's face in Ziyu's recollection. She expresses gratitude, noting that fate has been kind, providing her with two men, the king and Ziyu, who would do anything for her. Ziyu reflects on the vivid memory, unsure if it was a true vision or merely a hallucination brought on by intense pain and depression. The faint scent of flowers, however, lingers in his mind. Returning to the present, Ziyu turns to Wu Geng, expressing a desire to learn more about him and suggesting they discuss it later. Suddenly, Shixing transforms, his form growing monstrous. His wide, grinning face stretches upwards, a look of surprise crossing his features as he observes something above him. Ziyu retaliates, drawing his massive sword with incredible speed. Activating his sword aura, he unleashes the devastating technique, piercing heavens under the full moon's glow. His eyes burning with a cold, murderous intent, Ziyu acknowledges the surging power within him. This raw, untamed emotion is pure anger, fueling his every move. Shixing, having seemingly concluded his battle, strides confidently towards a gathering of robed figures. They greet him as Great God Shi as he surveys the scene before him, acknowledging his return. Ziyu, now visibly injured, questions Shixing about why he was saved. Shixing, with his signature maniacal grin, admits his motive. He desires another duel, driven by his absolute dedication to battle. Despite the surprising turn of events, Ziyu finds himself in the most perilous situation of his life. Yet, a flicker of resolve remains in his gaze, hinting at an unforeseen path forward. Indeed, that flicker of resolve in Ziyu's eyes burns brighter. Chained and vulnerable, he refuses to yield to Shixing's cruel mockery, instead focusing inward, his spirit unbent. He recalls Shixing's taunt that he could simply start over again. But for Ziyu, starting over means forging a new path, not abandoning his principles. The very prison around him begins to crack. With a surge of inner power, the crystalline prison and the chains binding him shatter into brilliant shards of light, coalescing not into freedom but into a new weapon, a soul sword, reborn from his defiance. Meanwhile, the battlefield erupts in a blinding flash of light and raw power. Wu Geng stands amidst the fallen, the air still crackling with residual energy. Suddenly, a grotesque, gray-skinned monster lunges, its clawed hand clamping down on Wu Geng's leg with surprising force. He lets out a grunt of pain. The creature's grip tightens, its otherworldly strength threatening to crush his limb. A sharp jolt of pain courses through Wu Geng. Before he can react, another blast of condensed, vibrant blue energy slams into him, sending him reeling backward. From the heavens, a massive form descends, plummeting towards the ground. Wu Geng looks up, his expression a mix of shock and confusion, wondering who this unexpected arrival could be. It's none other than Yunzhongzi, crashing down with a theatrical flair, his massive gourd clutched in one hand. Wu Geng, recognizing him, exclaims in disbelief, calling him a fat bastard. Yunzhongzi lands with a tremor, his imposing figure dwarfing Wu Geng. The new chapter, the God Slayer sword, is about to unfold. Yunzhongzi explains his presence, stating that after their escape, Kong Ke tasked him with scouting for their allies. He tracked Shixing to this very location. Wu Geng demands to know why Yunzhongzi is here. Yunzhongzi simply smirks, telling the young man to consider himself lucky for his timely arrival. Wu Geng's expression hardens, a silent acknowledgement of the unexpected aid. The grotesque monsters, their eyes glowing red, snarl menacingly, their guttural cries of eat, eat echoing through the ruins. Yunzhongzi warns Wu Geng about the creatures, revealing they were once humans, transformed by a horrific curse into blood-sucking immortal monsters, feared even by the gods themselves. Wu Geng questions if they were truly human. Yunzhongzi confirms it, his expression somber, calling it a tragic tale rarely spoken of. Yunzhongzi challenges Wu Geng to fight, but Wu Geng refuses, stating he will fight alongside him. Yunzhongzi dismisses Wu Geng's readiness, citing his brief training and past arrogance. He claims these zombies are too powerful even for him, and Wu Geng would surely perish. Ignoring his own words, Yunzhongzi unleashes a torrent of divine power, manifesting a colossal water dragon that roars to life, ready to churn the river and engulf their foes. With a booming declaration, Yunzhongzi hurls his massive liquor gourd into the air, activating his full power. Feast your eyes on my power, he roars, a wild grin spreading across his face. The air itself ignites as the massive gourd's impact gives way to a blade of pure soul energy. This isn't just a weapon, it's a manifestation of sheer willpower. Shixing recoils, his eyes widening in genuine shock. For the first time, the master of the ghost city feels a strength that rivals his own divine essence. Standing tall, Ziyu unsheathes the Heaven Punisher. He warns Shixing that these flames are potent enough to incinerate transcendent vigor and end an immortal's life permanently. Refusing to be intimidated, Shixing bellows a challenge that shakes the foundations of the city. Behind him, the spectral image of a monstrous beast lunges forward, hungry for battle. The two titans collide in a spectacular display of power. Let's determine the victor. Shi Xing roars as his Azura power clashes against the searing heat of Ziyu's soul sword. Ziyu lands gracefully, but his mind is elsewhere. He senses a sudden, heavy pressure descending upon the battlefield, a power that feels ancient and absolute. Nearby, Wu Geng is gripped by a strange sensation. It's as if the world has slowed down, and for the first time, he feels truly invincible standing at the center of the chaos. Shi Xing realizes the truth. This boy was the one who backed him into a corner and refused to kill him, promising instead to be the one who would eventually surpass and defeat him. Far away in the god domain, High Priestess Xian Yukue reveals a dark secret. The boy causing this upheaval is none other than the son of the great emperor of Shang. Tai Ji's expression hardens. The mention of Emperor Zhou's lineage is a direct threat to the god's authority. He hadn't expected a survivor of that bloodline to possess such power. Xian Yukue admits she was fooled for 15 years by her own sister. The existence of Wu Geng is a stain on her record that she can no longer ignore. The weight of the revelation hangs heavy. The gods now realize that the monochrome power they sense belongs to a hybrid they once thought was insignificant. In the Grand Hall, the priestess declares that Wu Geng is a disgrace. A hybrid of god and human is an abomination that threatens to destroy the reputation of their entire race. Pure and sacred blood of the gods must never be tainted, she says coldly. She is determined to deal with this matter personally and decisively. Tai Ji listens with a smirk, his confidence unshaken. To a great god like him, a human hybrid is nothing more than a minor pest to be swatted away. He finds the request hilarious. Isn't it overkill to send both Zhueri and me to deal with this human? He asks, mocking the idea that Shi Xing could actually lose. Xian Yukue doesn't share his amusement. Her gaze is sharp, knowing that the potential of the monochrome power is far greater than Tai Ji realizes. She places her trust in him, urging Tai Ji to consider the interests of their race. The order is clear: eliminate Wu Geng before he becomes an unstoppable force. Back at the training grounds, Yun Zhongzi and Fu Yi watch the boy. They realize Wu Geng has finally tapped into his true self, becoming a warrior completely different from the brat they once knew. Yet Yun Zhongzi, observing Wu Geng's current state, voices his doubts. He questions the prophecy, unable to see any special abilities in the boy. Fu Yi, however, remains calm, asserting that Wu Geng's true power is merely in a deep slumber waiting to awaken. Far from the training grounds, Alon stands by a tranquil river, her thoughts drifting to her past. She reflects on her own journey, a human once consumed by despair, now tasked with mentoring Wu Geng. She acknowledges the daunting challenge, admitting that without immense wisdom, she fears she is unable to do this. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a terrifying confrontation. Shi Xing, his face contorted in a maniacal grin, declares with chilling certainty that his opponent has reached their absolute limit. But amidst the collapsing ruins, Ziyu stands unbroken. He dismisses Shi Xing's claim, confidently stating that any perceived limit will only be a brief pause before he passes it. He finds the challenge almost a little too easy. Back in what appears to be his own battle, Wu Geng, now radiating fierce confidence, meets his opponent's gaze. A defiant smirk plays on his lips as he declares, "You don't seem scary anymore," a clear sign of his evolving strength. A powerful flashback erupts, revealing Emperor Zhou, shackled but unyielding, suspended above a monstrous, enraged figure. The narration confirms his legendary status. He is Emperor Zhou, the one who slaughtered 100,000 gods 5 years ago. The Emperor's power explodes, a colossal inferno of fire and lava erupting around him, tearing the very earth apart. The narrator emphasizes his unfinished struggle. He is not finished. This is his. With unyielding resolve, Emperor Zhou's chained feet slam down, igniting the shattered ground in a fiery rumble. His determination burns as brightly as the surrounding flames. The vision shatters, and Wu Geng finds himself disoriented amidst a field of crumbling debris. "Whoa, what's happening?" he exclaims, trying to grasp the sudden, chaotic shift in his reality. Under a vast, ominous full moon, the ruined landscape stretches, dominated by a towering structure of shattered debris. A blinding beam of light, accompanied by a powerful whoosh, shoots skyward, piercing the dark heavens. Panic flashes across Wu Geng's face as he realizes his perilous situation. "Not good. I'm falling deeper and deeper inside," he cries, fearing he's plummeting to hell with these zombies. "No way." His desperate wah echoes as Wu Geng tumbles through the air, his hand outstretched, desperately trying to grab onto anything to stop his uncontrolled descent amidst the relentless shower of debris. Suddenly, Yun Zhongzi reappears, standing in a vast, desolate desert. Debris continues to fall around him with a thud. He anxiously searches the barren expanse, wondering, where's that brat? Did we fall into the world of the dead? He scans the barren landscape, then spots Wu Geng sprawled on the sand. As Wu Geng stirs, Yun Zhongzi reflects on their tumultuous journey. "When I first arrived in the ghost city, I was shattered. But meeting Wu Geng and his uncle rekindled my hope. To see him overcome such odds, defeating those by his side, it's a strange, yet victorious feeling." Meanwhile, far from the desolate sands, Xian Yukue's cold gaze pierces the air. A subtle smile plays on her lips as she muses, "Wouldn't it be amusing to witness a prodigy clash with another?" The focus shifts to the formidable joaillerie, his back to the viewer, a crystalline sword strapped across his shoulders. The narrator reveals his terrifying prowess. The divine revelation granted him power at just 16, allowing him to defeat the former Great God of the Lightning affiliation on that very day. He is the youngest to ever achieve Great God status, a warrior who never fails. Back in the desolate desert, Wu Geng gasps for air, battered and exhausted, struggling to rise amidst the lingering debris. The massive moon hangs ominously overhead. Ji, eyes closed in concentration, realizes the extent of Wu Geng's innate ability. He thinks, this brat. He unconsciously dispelled a divine power, seer's vision, without even grasping the true situation. Wu Geng, still on his knees, looks up with a mix of relief and gratitude, calling out, Uncle Ziyu. Thank you. A powerful figure emerges from the swirling sand. Ziyu, his body still bound by chains, yet radiating immense strength. Wu Geng stares in disbelief as Ziyu defiantly declares, who said I was dead? Wu Geng's face contorts in pure shock, his voice filled with incredulity. Uncle Ziyu, you're still alive. Ziyu, calm and composed, explains his survival to a bewildered Ji. Yes. After pushing you up, I follow too. That's how it is. Wu Geng offers a firm yeah, a silent acknowledgement of their unexpected reunion and the path forward. Ziyu's gaze remains serene as he reassures them, we've got time. Ji, still processing the sudden appearance, stares at Ziyu, asking, you are actually here? With a resolute let's go, Ziyu turns, leading Wu Geng and Ji deeper into the vast, desolate expanse. As they journey beneath the colossal moon, Wu Geng recounts his past, revealing, I witnessed your battle with my father. How did I see it? It was due to my mother's divine powers. I'm no longer the weakling I once was. I joined the fallen ones and forged myself into the strongest warrior. A confident smirk plays on Wu Geng's lips, a silent heh marking his profound transformation and newfound power. The scene shifts, panning across a vast, undulating desert, a small creature scurrying across the sand, hinting at the harsh, untamed environment. Wu Geng, now clad in a dark, masked outfit, holds a vibrant red lizard in his hand. He reflects on the incredible feats of humanity, the strong and unparalleled. Even the gods were defeated by humans. Two masked figures, including Wu Geng, stand atop a rocky outcrop, gazing at a distant, mysterious landscape. They discuss powerful creatures. They possess a great and powerful spirit, especially the golden spirit, which has a very unique aura. Can we tame them? The masked figure, with unwavering resolve, affirms, yes, we can. A vibrant, almost dreamlike image depicts Wu Geng and Bai Kai alongside a magnificent, colorful creature, symbolizing their intertwined destinies and the extraordinary power they may wield. Wu Geng, his masked face hardened with resolve, declares, our days of vengeance are right in front of us. Now, I can feel that opportunity drawing near. The narrative abruptly shifts to a tranquil scene in Zhaogu City, where Bai Kai, with a cheerful, welcome, sells buns, completely unaware of the perilous journey and vengeful path Wu Geng now treads. Yet even as Bai Kai lived her simple life far from the brewing storm, Wu Geng carried her memory. He recalled their quiet moments together, Bai Kai leaning against him, her voice soft with contentment, confessing that despite the hardships and hunger, she felt happy and blessed by his side. He acknowledged that this pure, untainted her was the very essence of who she was. Wu Geng's gaze sharpened, a deep conviction in his eyes. He mused that the core of Bai Kai, the you he knew, would forever remain unchanged. Whether he was Go or Wu Geng, their bond transcended mere names. His mind drifted to a past adventure, a shared moment of awe and perhaps a touch of fear, as they both looked up at a colossal, multi-limbed creature soaring through the dark, stormy sky. Another flash of memory, Wu Geng, a wide grin on his face, urging Bai Kai to hold on tight as they sped forward, proclaiming the exhilaration of their journey. Bai Kai, equally joyful, embraced the thrilling ride. Back in the present, a pensive Wu Geng looked out into the distance, a quiet hope lingering in his thoughts. He wished for their safety and well-being, wherever they might be. The scene shifted to a rural village where Ziyu, astride a white horse, prepared for his departure. He addressed Wu Geng, who stood with Ji, acknowledging Wu Geng's own pressing mission and bidding him farewell. Ziyu's expression was calm but firm as he instructed Wu Geng to seek him out once his tasks were complete, emphasizing the importance of meeting everyone he desired. The final, resolute look, Ziyu delivered a powerful exhortation. Wu Geng must become even stronger, not for himself but for the sake of those he loved. Wu Geng looked up at the stormy sky, his finger pointing towards an unseen destination. He reflected on his father's yearning for this place, the resting place of the dragon, the formidable god's domain, a place he was now determined to reach. He then turned, his gaze sweeping towards the horizon, a vision of Bai Kai by his side. He spoke of the direction from where the sun rises, the path they needed to take, needing only a grand ship to set sail towards their destiny. Suddenly, the tranquil thoughts were shattered by a torrential downpour. A lone figure, armed with a formidable weapon, stood with his back to the viewer, the rain lashing around him, hinting at an impending confrontation. In the driving rain, Wu Geng, Ah Go, and Bai Kai stood together, facing the ominous, rain-slicked path ahead. A voice cut through the storm, directly addressing Wu Geng, Ah Go, confirming his presence and marking the beginning of a new, dangerous encounter. The mysterious challenger revealed himself, Zhui Ri, the great god of the lightning affiliation, a formidable power among the 6 affiliations of heaven, his cold gaze fixed on Wu Geng, Ah Go. Wu Geng, Ah Go, observed Zhui Ri, a flicker of surprise in his expression. This great god had challenged him without hesitation, appearing deceptively normal compared to others he'd faced. Yet, a chilling realization dawned. Zhui Ri was far from ordinary, he was a problematic force. Zhui Ri's intense stare conveyed a clear message, confirming his identity and the gravity of the situation. The battle lines were drawn. A sudden, unexpected plea from Bai Kai pierced the tension. She acknowledged Zhui Ri as her first human friend, begging him to spare Wu Geng, Ah Go. But Zhui Ri's resolve was unyielding. With a stoic expression, he declared his mission. He was there for 2 reasons, the first being to kill Wu Geng, Ah Go. A tragic depth emerged in Zhui Ri's eyes. He admitted his affection for Bai Kai, revealing a past where his family condemned love for humans. Yet, Bai Kai's words had empowered him to fight for what he desired. Now, ironically, that strength fueled his grim task, setting the stage for a heart-wrenching conflict. The weight of his confession settled, but Zhui Ri's resolve hardened. His eyes, still carrying a tragic depth, now blazed with a fierce determination as he prepared for the grim task ahead. A powerful aura began to emanate from Zhui Ri, subtle at first then intensifying. His hand instinctively reached for the hilt of his crystalline blue sword. Miles away, Bai Kai paused, a shiver running down her spine. An unsettling premonition, a cold dread, seemed to grip her heart. Zhui Ri drew his sword with a chilling whisper of steel. The blade hummed, crackling with nascent lightning energy, reflecting his conflicted resolve. His stance shifted, a blur of practiced precision. Every muscle tensed, ready to unleash the formidable power of the lightning affiliation. With a burst of speed, Zhui Ri launched himself forward. The ground beneath him splintered, a testament to his raw, unleashed strength. Sparks of brilliant blue lightning erupted around him, forming a temporary, blinding shield as he accelerated through the air, a living projectile. Bai Kai, now acutely aware of the approaching danger, turned sharply. Her eyes widened in terror as a distant, luminous streak tore across the sky towards her. Zhui Ri closed the distance with terrifying speed, his form a focused spear of divine energy. His target was clear, his resolve unwavering despite the internal torment. He activated his divine power, lightning flash, causing a momentary distortion in the air. He vanished, reappearing in an instant directly before Bai Kai. Bai Kai gasped, stumbling backward. The sheer force of his presence, the crackling energy, was overwhelming. She raised her hands instinctively, a silent plea. Zhui Ri's face was a mask of grim determination, his eyes locked onto hers, betraying the deep pain within. His crystalline sword was already raised, poised. The air thickened with tension, the silence deafening. The vibrant blue glow of Zhui Ri's weapon cast an ominous light upon Bai Kai's terrified features. He moved, not with a strike but a swift, precise motion. His blade darted, not to harm but to sever a vital connection, a tether perhaps unseen. A faint, shimmering barrier around Bai Kai, one she hadn't even known existed, shattered into glittering motes of light under Zhui Ri's calculated attack. The sudden loss of this protective energy caused Bai Kai to reel. Her expression morphed into one of profound shock and vulnerability. Zhui Ri lowered his sword, his gaze unwavering yet filled with a deep sorrow. He had completed the first, most painful part of his grim task. The air grew heavy with unspoken tragedy. Zhui Ri stood before Bai Kai, a protector turned reluctant captor, the stage set for a true heart-wrenching conflict. As Zhui Ri's chilling declaration hung in the rain-soaked air, A Lan's hand fell upon Wu Geng's shoulder, a silent plea cutting through his despair. Bai Kai, clutched in his arms, wept, her face a mask of anguish. Wu Geng, his voice raw with surprise and desperation, questions A Lan's sudden appearance, his single visible eye wide with a mix of shock and faint hope. Kong Ke, her expression resolute, issues a decisive command. They must act with utmost urgency to save lives, leaving no room for hesitation. Kong Ke channels her mystical power, a golden light emanating from her hands as she presses them onto the injured figure, desperately hoping their connection to this world remains unbroken. Di Dian, his formidable soul gear sword strapped to his back, turns to Kong Ke, respectfully offering his power to aid in the desperate rescue. Kneeling beside Kong Ke, Zidian pours his transcendent vigor into the healing process, declaring his full commitment to save the injured even if it consumes him entirely. Wu Geng's distraught cry echoes as Zhui Ri, his masked face impassive, delivers a chilling warning about the perilous journey through the underworld, emphasizing the need for extreme caution. Zhui Ri, his grip tight on Wu Geng's arm amidst a shower of blood-like splatters, taunts him with a cruel reminder of Bai Kai's near-fatal encounter. Zhui Ri activates a powerful ability, ethereal winged sandals manifesting on Bai Kai's feet as he propels her away, instructing her to follow the open passage towards the light. Bai Kai is forcefully launched through the desolate, fiery landscape, blue energy spheres propelling her feet. She glances back, her face a mix of fear and despair, as Wu Geng's anguished cry follows her. Luminous blue energy continues to propel Bai Kai's feet, guiding her through the desolate, red-hued terrain towards a distant, unknown light. Wu Geng's eyes snap open, his face contorted in a silent scream as he witnesses the dire scene: Bai Kai injured, Kong Ke pregnant, and Zi Dian standing guard, all drenched in the relentless rain. A surge of golden, flame-like energy ignites around Zi Dian's ankle, signaling a power activation, ready to defend or assist. Zi Dian turns, his imposing figure casting a shadow over the group as he bluntly tells Wu Geng that his current strength is insufficient to protect Bai Kai. Wu Geng's gaze hardens, his single visible eye burning with fierce determination, silently accepting the challenge and solidifying his resolve. Now cloaked and bearing a new maturity, Wu Geng offers a quiet, heartfelt word of gratitude, acknowledging the harsh truths and sacrifices made. Kong Ke gently tends to a resting Bai Kai, confirming her recovery. She then calmly announces their plan to encamp and rest for a few days before resuming their journey. Inside their temporary shelter, Wu Geng reveals his other name, Shang, as Kong Ke outlines a strategic plan to contact allies in Xiangao City, providing a path forward. Wu Geng expresses relief, believing their immediate troubles are resolved. However, Alon interjects with a solemn reflection on the tragic fate of the priest, hinting at deeper losses. Wu Geng stands amidst his gathered allies in a sun-dappled forest clearing, a silent observer of the new path forged through hardship and the uncertain future that awaits them. The gravity of Wu Geng's ambition settles over his allies. Zi Dian, ever the skeptic, scoffs at the suicidal notion of infiltrating the god's domain, deeming Wu Geng's decisions reckless. Yet Yun Zhongzi, a keen observer, acknowledges Wu Geng's astonishing intellect and rapid mastery of techniques, admitting his audacious proposal to challenge the gods is truly shocking. Another seasoned warrior among the fallen ones, initially doubtful, now concedes. Wu Geng's recent displays of power have convinced him of the young leader's immense potential, a truly destined one capable of challenging their oppressors. The conversation deepens around the flickering campfire. The notion of infiltrating the end of the earth, the very core of the god's domain, is met with apprehension due to their current strength. Yet, a flicker of hope remains, as they recall Alan's miraculous escape from that very place, proving it's not entirely impossible. Yun Zhongzi, puffing on his pipe, acknowledges Alan's escape as a miracle. Kong Ke, with a knowing smile, counters that Wu Geng himself is a living testament to miracles, having defied death and risen against the gods. As the discussion continues, a realization dawns upon the assembled fallen ones. They've spent half a day debating Wu Geng's audacious plan, yet the man himself is nowhere to be seen. A collective unease ripples through the group. Miles away, Wu Geng stands solitary amidst swirling leaves, his new black cloak a stark silhouette against the forest's muted greens. The whispered concern of his allies seems to echo in the wind. Lan, her gaze piercing, questions Wu Geng's resolve. He affirms his decision without a hint of hesitation. She then challenges him to demonstrate his power, and Wu Geng, with quiet confidence, agrees, inviting her to witness his strength. Lan remains composed, observing Wu Geng with an unwavering gaze. Two young children of the fallen ones sit quietly beside her, sensing the shift in the air. A surge of power erupts from Wu Geng. His single visible eye flares with an intense, otherworldly blue light, his divine power of monochrome activating with raw, untamed force. The raw energy manifests, swirling around Wu Geng as his black cloak whips dramatically. Leaves are torn from trees, caught in the vortex of his awakening power, demonstrating its destructive potential. Back at the clearing, the fallen ones gasp in collective shock. A towering pillar of brilliant, destructive energy erupts in the distance, piercing the forest canopy, a clear manifestation of Wu Geng's unleashed power. Yun Zhongzi, his eyes still closed, calmly states that Wu Geng is merely demonstrating his powers. Lan, however, is visibly stunned, realizing Wu Geng's strength far surpasses her initial estimations. The aftermath reveals a small, lifeless bird, a casualty of Wu Geng's uncontrolled power. Lan observes that his inability to fully command the flowing energy resulted in unintentional harm, proving he has yet to unlock its true potential. Wu Geng sighs, acknowledging the truth in her words. Lan, her eyes filled with concern, warns Wu Geng that a direct assault on the god's domain to rescue the priestess would be suicidal in his current state. She insists he must prepare properly. Wu Geng, taking a bite from an apple, retorts that while he understands the danger, he is no fool. Wu Geng reveals his next step. He will be learning the formidable smelting aura technique, a crucial step in mastering his power, as Lan and the children listen intently. Wu Geng's gaze hardens with resolve as he declares his ultimate goals: to grow strong enough to save his grandfather and, more importantly, to protect Bai Kai, the one he holds dearest. Lan, a hint of annoyance crossing her features, playfully admonishes Wu Geng for his past indiscretion of peeking at her, a moment of levity amidst their serious discussions. A new figure emerges, the great swordsman Ziyu, Wu Geng's uncle, standing majestically on a small boat, his flowing white hair and cloak billowing in the wind. His presence exudes an aura of immense power and serene determination. Wu Geng inquires about their destination. Ziyu, with a calm gaze, reveals they are headed to Phantom Island, the very place where he himself underwent rigorous training years ago. Back at the clearing, Kong Ke assures Lan that the fallen ones will also use this time to make their own preparations. She advises Lan to focus on her training, hinting at the arduous path ahead. Wu Geng casts a final glance back at the receding shore, offering a silent farewell as he embarks on this new journey, a flock of birds mirroring his departure into the unknown. On the turbulent waters, Ziyu declares he will personally guide Wu Geng during this training period. He then reveals a surprising truth: even the great swordsman's own training remains incomplete, hinting at deeper mysteries to be unraveled. Ziyu's resolve is clear. He proposes they seize this unique opportunity to train together, believing their combined efforts could accelerate their growth and readiness for the battles ahead. Wu Geng, with a determined glint in his eye, reminds Ziyu of his promise to his comrades to journey to the end of the earth once his training is complete. He then directly asks for Ziyu's aid in fulfilling this daunting vow. Ziyu's expression turns grave. He warns Wu Geng against attempting the impossible, revealing that the end of the earth is not just any destination but rumored to be the very core land of the gods, a place of ultimate power and peril. Undeterred, Wu Geng flashes a confident smile. He declares that the only thing he does not fear is facing hardships, his resolve unshaken by the daunting revelation. With a steely gaze, Wu Geng accepts the challenge. Bring it on, he mentally vows, ready to confront whatever trials Phantom Island and the God's domain may throw his way. As Phantom Island draws nearer, his single eye burns with anticipation. The smelting aura technique, a mysterious power capable of forging even mountains and seas, calls to him. He feels its profound pull, more intrigued by its unfathomable secrets than even his own divine power. As Wu Geng nears Phantom Island, the ancient power of the smelting aura technique resonates, pulling him into a chilling vision. He witnesses a figure, bound and suspended, their dark hair a stark contrast against a cosmic void, a silent scream of past torment. The vision intensifies, shifting to a primal scene. Shi Xing, the master of Ghost City, awakens amidst a fiery inferno, his body scarred, his spirit forged in agonizing rebirth. I dreamed afterwards, for a long, long time, he recounts, then I woke up. Terrifying premonition fades as Wu Geng's focus returns to the desolate reality of Phantom Island. Ethereal, winged sandals touch down on the frozen ground, a silent step echoing in the chilling air. A lone figure, Alan, stands amidst jagged ice formations, her gaze sweeping across the unforgiving, frozen expanse. The island is a stark, brutal challenge, a realm of perpetual winter. Wu Geng, cloaked against the biting winds, observes the frozen wasteland. His single eye, burning with resolve, acknowledges the harsh truth. Bai Kai, he thinks, a silent address to his beloved. It is your first time seeing ice and snow, right? How do you feel? This is the other side of hell. Standing before him, exuding an aura of ancient power, is Nityunenshing, the Grand Marshal of the Dark Ones. His piercing gaze and formidable presence dominate the icy landscape. He declares this realm, like the real world, possesses its own mountains and seas, but is devoid of the sun's warmth, a place where nothing truly grows. Nityunenshing lays out his grand ambition to reclaim the gods' domain. He emphasizes their collective weakness, the need for human allies, and extends an offer to Wu Geng to become their first human ally against the gods' oppression. Wu Geng, absorbing the weight of the proposition, meets Nityunenshing's gaze. His mind races, considering the implications of such an alliance, and he asks, am I allowed to tell my friends? The question hangs in the frigid air as Wu Geng, retreats into contemplation. His eyes, once burning with anticipation, now close in deep thought, weighing the path ahead and the sacrifices it demands. Far from Phantom Island, the world continues. 9 months have passed since Wu Geng, departed with Ziyu, the great swordsman. Bai Kai walks a lonely pier, her heart heavy with longing, having received no word from him since. Bai Kai sits, her gaze lost in the shimmering water, patiently awaiting his return. A personal secret, a profound truth, she vows to share with Wu Geng, the moment he steps back into her life. A gentle voice breaks her reverie. Kong Kei, serene and observant, approaches Bai Kai, her lantern casting a soft glow. Is there something troubling you? She asks, her concern evident. Meanwhile, the High Priestess Xin Yukue, a figure of cold authority, addresses a gathering of the fallen ones. She dismisses their rebellion as misguided, asserting the absolute and unchangeable rule of the gods. She warns that their chosen path leads only to ruin, urging them to reconsider. With a commanding presence, Xin Yukue extends an offer of peace and forgiveness. She invites those who seek tranquility to join her side, promising to rebuild the god's sacred dominion together, erasing all past grievances. Kong Kei, unyielding, stares down Xin Yukue. She refutes the notion of surrender, even if others like Fu Yi have faltered. With steely resolve, Kong Kei declares that those who stand with her have made their choice, never to surrender, no matter the overwhelming power of the gods. Xin Yukue, with a hint of disappointment, laments Kong Kei's choice, wishing she had chosen to join them. Beside her, the imposing Grey God Tai Ji scoffs, declaring that integrity and dignity hold no value against the might of the gods. He boasts that no will is strong enough to resist them forever, and that all eventually kneel. Xin Yukue's eyes narrow slightly, a cold calculation in her gaze as she muses on the limits of mortal endurance, convinced that everyone has a breaking point. The roaring command, Yun Zhongzi unleashes his divine power, Mosasaur churning the river. A colossal vortex of water erupts around him, spiraling outwards with immense force. The raging torrent engulfs the attacking fallen ones, but Tai Ji stands unmoving, a defiant smirk playing on his lips as he shrugs off the initial assault. A brutal strike connects, sending ripples of force across Tai Ji's hardened skin, yet he barely flinches. Xian Yukue maintains her facade of sorrow, pleading with Kong Ke to cease this futile resistance and join her side, claiming the conflict pains her. Behind Kong Ke, Zidian and another warrior stand ready, their expressions grim. As Xian Yukue and Tai Ji watch from above, several of Kong Ke's own former comrades, led by Zidian, step forward, declaring their intent to handle Kong Ke themselves. Xian Yukue simply smiles, a subtle, cold expression as she opens her fan. "That is too bad," she murmurs, her words laced with a chilling indifference. Her gaze shifts, a hint of something darker in her eyes as she expresses a desire to witness his face, a chilling implication of the suffering she wishes to inflict. Kong Ke stands firm, her resolve unwavering. She passionately refutes the idea that their shared path and the sacrifices of their comrades were meaningless. She declares her refusal to accept such a fate, vowing to fight even against former friends who have strayed from their ideals. Zidian warns Kong Ke that she is digging her own grave, while another warrior states they shouldn't be blamed. Kong Ke, however, accepts the grim reality, asserting that no one is to blame as each has made their own choices. Kong Ke confronts Tai Ji, questioning why a warrior of his strength would allow himself to be manipulated by Xian Yukue, challenging his sense of righteousness. Tai Ji, unperturbed, simply states that Xian Yukue follows the decree of Jian, and in his eyes, that unwavering obedience is righteousness. Tai Ji, now crackling with raw divine power, challenges Kong Ke to reveal her own divine skill. Kong Ke, poised and ready, prepares for the inevitable clash. As Tai Ji's raw divine power crackles around him, he issues a chilling warning to Kong Ke, "Don't force me to kill you." Kong Ke, poised and ready, meets his gaze with unwavering resolve, prepared to unleash her own divine skill. Meanwhile, a former ally, likely Xian Yukue, grapples with a desperate choice. Tears well in her eyes as she recalls Kong Ke's past kindness, realizing it's now her turn to help. She makes a profound apology to an unseen big brother for the secrets she's about to reveal, affirming her resolve. "I must go save her. Sister Kong Ke will die, and I can't allow that." Below, turbulent waters churn, mirroring her inner turmoil. The scene shifts abruptly to a brutal, high-octane clash. A smaller, red-skinned warrior, adorned with prayer beads, stands his ground against a towering, white-haired combatant wreathed in explosive, fiery energy. Blood splatters the ground as powerful blows are exchanged, the air alive with crackling force and sheer destructive power.